What's up, Pandas? Peter on Panda here. Hey, I just got a delivery today from the post office. This giant box here includes a chair that I ordered some time ago, and I'm super excited about it. Obviously, we have to set it up. It's an office chair, which is why I'm in the office here at the Panda Research Institute for you. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and set up, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we do it. So many months ago, I was actually on LinkedIn.com and just kind of looking at my feed, and I saw this picture for this chair, this office chair that was really beautiful. And in fact, the company is called luxlobby.com, and the gentleman who started it, looks like he put in a little note here, thank you. And here it is, the luxlobby.com Roadster-S Chair. Rupesh, he's the founder. And it looks like there's some instructions in here, and it comes in a nice little folder. And the cool thing about it is, what struck me is that the chair in the pictures was really, really beautiful. And so, I've never really bought a really expensive office chair before, just because they all kind of seem the same. And you can spend $500 to $1,000 on a pretty standard looking office chair. Even like the really nice office chairs that you might see, like the Herman Millers and things like that, are really expensive, but they don't really look that great. I guess they just don't look that different. And they aren't inexpensive, and you can kind of get similar chairs for a lot less money. But this chair, if you can look at it, here's the back of it. The thing about the Roadster-S is that he was inspired by car design. And since I'm a car guy from Detroit, I really like cars. That spoke to me. I really like this camel leather look here. That was really nice. Overall looks like the construction is pretty nice here. You've got quilted stitching right on the inside. It has a little bit of kind of a race car type of seat with some really big bolsters here and a lot of heavy curves. Kind of like an Ames chair in a lot of ways. Now, what I also really like about the pictures of the finished chair that he had was that it wasn't trying to be a copy. It was clear that he was very inspired by the Bentley Continental GT seats, but he didn't try to copy it. He really kind of captured the essence, the look, and then didn't really sacrifice kind of form and functionality that works very well for an office chair. And he kind of took the style elements and was able to kind of create a chair that looks like an office chair, looks like it's kind of in the style of a sports car, an exotic car, with a lot of luxury, but not necessarily a duplicate. And I think that's always the hardest part about being inspired by design. This is the bottom. Obviously some pretty big side bolsters here, but no quilting or anything like that, but obviously that camel leather to match. And that's really hard, in my opinion, to be inspired by a design, to kind of capture the essence, but to make something your own. For instance, I don't know if you ever watched American Chopper. Looks like we've got a cast bottom plate here. It's kind of polished. It has a little bit of a brushed look. We'll kind of get a little closer look at it when we get it all together. And then some plastic caps here on the end. This isn't like a high polished mirror brushed. Kind of looks like it's machine buffed a little bit. So it kind of gives you a bit of an aluminum look. It's not super heavy. But as I was saying, I don't know if you ever watched American Chopper, wheels here. But there was an episode where Cadillac hired them to, both Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., design a Cadillac-inspired motorcycle. And the thing about it was, Paul Sr., who I get how people didn't like it at the time, I think clearly won that competition. Because what they did, one of the arms here, is that they really looked at the Cadillac style, that art and science style, and were able to capture it in a bike. They didn't make it look like a Cadillac car, but it was clearly, when you looked at it, you thought it was a Cadillac bike. Whereas Paul Jr. really tried to make the car look, or the bike look exactly like the car, and I think he kind of missed the point. The idea isn't that you're trying to take something and make it look like something else. You're trying to make it look like it's from the same family. And so this chair really seemed to do that. You can actually buy Recaro seats in an office chair format. I don't know that that makes any sense. It's kind of cool, I guess. Here's the arm. It's not adjustable, and that's because of kind of the way it's designed. But you have the leather up here and the padding, and then you have an all-metal construction. It's nice that this is all kind of already put together. But this is a highly polished metal all the way around, so that's kind of nice. Here's the other arm, and those are just my fingerprints, highly polished all the way around on both sides, so it's just a nice detail, even under the armrest here, which is something you're not going to necessarily see. You know, the screws aren't flush here. I can see that, you know, they stick out a little bit. It would kind of nice be if those had been like sunked, but it is what it is. And then here is the mechanism that would be the gas mechanism that will be attached to the underside of the chair. The lift up here, locks and recline, and etc., etc. Looks like we've got some screws here and an Allen key. So that's actually a pretty nice little detail, because not every piece of equipment always includes, you know, hardware to put it together. It looks like here's the gas strut that goes in the middle. Looks like that's everything in the box. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. I think the wheels just pop into these holes here. And I think that just looks like it just sits in there. So that's pretty cool. Looks like now we take the back portion and the seat portion and we assemble those together, which I'm a little surprised about, but I trust the instructions. All right, so I actually think the instructions are slightly wrong or confusing possibly. But I think this back part gets attached to the adjustment mechanism directly, even though it looks like you attach it to the bottom. And so this, the kind of the mechanical unit gets placed on the bottom here, and then these bolts look like they're going to hold the back, the whole bracket on here to this whole part. The chairs, I think, look fantastic, and he has them available in some different colors here. This one is camel. They come in a Nero, very Italian names. There's a couple of browns, kind of a lighter and a darker brown. And then there's also Rosa Red, which I actually wouldn't really mind checking out either, because that'd be kind of cool. Pretty bold. I'm usually not quite that bold, but I think that chair would really stand out. But I really kind of like this camel color. It's kind of a tan caramel color. You know, it just kind of always screamed to me, if I got like a red Ferrari, that this would be a very similar color that would be inside of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down, but it looks like because it has some adjustment, I'm going to kind of put them in the middle, and then we'll kind of set the chair up and see if I need to slide these forward or backwards. And so this is probably going to allow you to fine tune it to your body's shape a little bit, which is pretty nice. Now it looks like I add the two arms to the lower bottom here before I put those on. And so the higher end of the seat bolster here is the front. And so these two really beautiful looking chrome arms are going to go on each side here. Same tool. It looks like you've got three little bolts. They match up with the bolt patterns on the arms. So far, everything's kind of fitting together pretty nice and smoothly. The other thing that I could say is that if you have a little thread locker, you might want to thread lock some of these things. So I have both arms on there now, and it just took a little while. It wasn't that hard, but a couple of things that I did, and call me anal, is that you can see here there aren't holes in the arms, there's slots, and so the arms are a little bit adjustable. I tried to actually get them out as far as possible, and that was because I didn't want them kind of pinching the leather. So call me anal, but I tried to get them to float outside the leather generally as much as possible, just to kind of hug that curve. So let's go ahead and get the back here. You can see the four big screws here that we have to take out, so that we can now take the base plate and mount it onto the back here too. So we're almost there. I put this on, you know, I think the instructions say that you could assemble this thing in 5 minutes. I would definitely budget more time than that. It's not so much about the process is hard, but you know, you're kind of fine tuning things. Now, certainly you can do this as one person, as I am, but it might be nice to have a second set of hands. All right. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So got it set up here, man. Let's just take a look at it, you know. Like I said, I picked this up because it looked great, and I still think it looks great. So, you know, we have stitching. It's actually kind of like piped on the top here. This camel leather looks great. You know, my lighting might not be the best in the world. It's kind of a high back chair. And then down here, you have quilting, and that's just pretty cool. It goes edge to edge like that. And then you have some piping down here, you know, the way it's stitched kind of looks like piping. You can almost pipe it in a different color, almost, if you wanted to. And then the bottom of the seat here has a pretty wide, flat space. One of the things that I was worried about, and a lot of times what happens on bolstered seats, is that they kind of hug you a little too firmly, because bolsters on car seats are meant to hold you in place, especially on hard corners. But in a chair in an office, it's not that important. But these do have pretty big side bolsters. Like I said, kind of reminds me of like a Ames chair or something like that. But I'm pretty impressed because everything seems really wide. I think that's going to be nice and comfortable to sit in. And then you have the handles here, which are padded leather, same color leather. There's no visible stitching anywhere. They're kind of screwed to these metal plates. And then as you can see here, my fingerprints are all over it, but polished metal all the way down. Got a stitch that kind of runs along there, and then you have kind of a sympathetic stitch right there. Kind of have this flat front edge, and then the base of it right there. So the cool thing is, sitting at my desk here, I'm going to be upgrading from this $25 chair, which has served me well over the years, and I do mean years, man. I've had that thing for years, to this chair. Now that's what you'll see from the back when you come into the Panda office here. You can see a couple of kind of nice visible French seams down here. Just gonna give it a little V look. So even from the back, I think that's a pretty smart looking chair. But as we spin it around, boom, look at that. So let's put my big body in there and see how it works. So let's take this thing on its maiden voyage here. Captain's log. Stardate 1. Woo! Panda approved. Man, this thing is comfortable. You know, one of the things that you can't figure out is how those side bolsters are going to affect you. You know, are they going to hold your middle section or your lower section in too tight? This is great. Like I said, it's wide. It's kind of oversized. Even as a bigger guy, I don't find this uncomfortable at all. In fact, it's kind of nice because it kind of holds you together a little bit as you really spread out. Now, even the bolsters on the side here, my body isn't even touching, and so it's definitely not constricting me too much. You get into like an AMG Mercedes with both seat bolsters, or Recaros, you know, if you're a bigger guy, those things are really cinching in. You aren't going to move it. So it's really kind of the style and the look, but I think it looks great. It's really comfortable. The seat bottom is pretty flat. It's not tilted forward or back too much, so it's really a nice place to sit. As you can see here, it kind of goes right up almost, you know, to the back of my calves here, so maybe there's an inch or two. Even the armrests, which are not adjustable in any way, height, you know, there's no kind of infinite adjustability like there are in some office chairs. These are right in the perfect spot. It kind of gives my hands the ability to hang down lower here, so, or if I'm typing here on my keyboard, you know, I've got free range of motion on my hands to manipulate keyboard and mouse and things like that. And they are soft, you know, and they're just right in the right place. And because they're not overly padded, my arms aren't rolling off the sides at all. The back here, as you can see, goes up almost to the top of my head. So even though, you know, it's not meant to be like a car seat, it doesn't kind of emulate that look. You know, the Recaros can go all the way up here. This gives my head plenty of support if I want to kind of lean back and watch a video, or if I'm watching TV or something like that. I actually have plenty of head support, even though it's not going over the top of my head. Whereas a lot of the regular office chairs are either they stop right here, like that chair did, my old chair, or even on the higher office chairs, they don't provide head support. So this is really, really nice. All around, I really like it. I mean, I got it because of the looks, just hoping that the quality and the construction is there, and it is. You know, it's everything I really hope for. Now, like I said, at $1,300, that's a value proposition you're going to have to weigh on your own here. I'll put a link to luxlobby.com, but for me, I think for the money I spent on it, it is definitely worth it. So, you know, the only things that I would say to keep in mind are, you know, if you need adjustable chairs for whatever reason, use ergo computer equipment, that might be an issue. The high polish is going to show fingerprints and things like that, which they already are. I think that's a small price to pay. Those screws that I mentioned that hold on the armrest here, it would have been nice maybe if they were recessed or countersunk into the metal. because I can feel them, and especially as you grab the edge of the armrest here, your fingers kind of go right where they are. I haven't caught on my fingers on anything like that, so it's not dangerous or uncomfortable. It's just one of those things where, you know, you could kind of hide those even a little bit better. The handle on your right side, which I think is your starboard side, raises and probably lowers on the gas strut. The handle on your left side moves forward and gives you reclinability. And if you hit it to the back, locks it in place. So it's actually really nice. The mechanical mechanism on this bad boy, especially if you have an ottoman, this is a really comfortable place to recline, man. And because you have the head support here as well, you know, that's pretty nifty. It's actually be a super cool recliner. You know, it's even more like the Ames chair than I thought. If I if I kind of recline a little bit here and hit that button, it does lock into the position I'm in. So that's also pretty cool too. You're not just in a full recliner, full vertical, and it's pretty easy just to hit the button there. Let's see. And kind of come all the way back and lock in place, and now I'm back in working office mode. Now that I know it reclines as far as it does, the only thing that I would say is I wish Lux Lobby would make like an ottoman that would match this almost. This is pretty cool. You could use this chair as kind of a lounge chair in your living room or something like that too. So pretty awesome, man. LuxLobby.com for you guys that are really looking for something unique to style out your office or your home office or your home. I think this chair is the thing that's going to do it. Roadster-S office chair. Peter Von Panda out!